Welcome back to the Muster Point, the podcast where we peel back the green blanket of military life and air out the damp, sweat-soaked chaos underneath. I'm Stu Mendelson, ex-Royal Engineer, veteran of bad decisions, worse haircuts, and once called so thick I made the concrete jealous. Cheers for that, Mick.
And I'm Steve Black, former 2nd Royal Tank Regiment, occasional adult and proud owner of a nickname I legally can't repeat on a family podcast. If you've ever been insulted so creatively, you've had to stop and applaud, you're in the right place.
Today we're diving into the brutal brilliance of military insults, the dark art of getting absolutely roasted by someone who probably can't spell their own name, but somehow delivers Shakespeare-level abuse.
We're talking the kind of banter that scars your soul, nicknames that outlive your career, and one-liners so savage they should come with a Geneva Convention warning.
So whether you're still recovering from being called a walking admin error or just want to hear about someone else's character getting assassinated, strap in. It's time for the Parade Square Poetry Slam.
This is the muster point, where the banter's brutal, the insults are legendary, and dignity, well, that got discharged years ago.
Here we are.
Hello.
Monday night, round Steve's house.
Where else would you rather be?
Where else would you rather be? So what we've been up to, Steve, I think we've got so much to talk about. It's pretty exciting.
We had Kevin, our local MP.
Kevin Bonavia.
Yeah, Kev come in. And
Bonavia, sorry.
Yeah.
Bonavia. I keep saying Bonavia, but that's my fucking fake London accent.
He come and said hello to us, didn't he? He was all right, wasn't he?
Last Tuesday, that was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Buried an hatchet with Arthur.
He did. So Arthur is one of our regulars at the Muster Point Breakfast, and he's also a bit of a Facebook legend. So Kevin, our local MP, anything he puts on social media, Arthur's on him, isn't he?
And Arthur's late 80s as well.
Yeah. He's on him like that, giving him shit. So we was intrigued to see how it would pan out. But to be fair, Arthur ended up buying him one of our toy tank things that we sell.
A paperweight, yeah. And I think they buried the hatchet.
Yeah. And he did admit, didn't he? He said, you know what? And this is Arthur said, you know what? Fair play to him. He came down, he spoke to him, and I think there was as you said, buried the hatchet, or Arthur's certainly seen some positives in it.
Yeah. It's his team around him as well.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Laura and Sarah.
Yeah. People went in and had a chat with them. They're the experts on pieces.
On pretty much everything,
yeah. So we're going to carry on with our relationship with him.
Yeah. So he's invited us down to Parliament, hasn't he?
Yeah.
For some lunch and a behind-the-scenes tour, which we can look forward to. Do you know what he said to me, Steve? He goes, it got brought up about drinking.
Yeah, because I asked him how much a pint was.
Yeah. In the Parliament bar. It's going to be subsidised, isn't it? And he was a bit like, if they're planning on getting pissed, I can't bring them down. And I was like, that's all right, I don't drink. And he was like, well, you can come then.
I'll drink for the pair of us.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was good, wasn't it? There was a few other people who had conversations with him, and I think he's going to take up a case with them.
And a few weeks ago, on April the 4th, you put a post on our Facebook saying that I'd join the RAF Reg Reserves.
Yeah.
He only believed it, didn't he? Him and his, was it Laura?
Yeah,
they
Laura.
Believed it. And I said to him, you're the people running our country.
Check the data out. But it was all positive, wasn't it? I'm just trying to think. So Claire Paris came along. So she's the Armed Forces champion for our local council, who was instrumental in us supporting us set up the Muster Point Breakfast. She came down and it was good. Yeah. I think she spoke to some of our veterans as well.
Yeah. We also had Sheila from Walking with the Wounded.
She pops in every now and again. Now, didn't she? Just back from Canada. I do need to speak to her about getting her on the Beyond the Wire podcast.
Yeah.
But what else happened? Who else did we have down there? It seemed like there was a few people. Am I forgetting anyone?
Probably.
Well, tomorrow at the Muster Point Breakfast.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tara Dolby from BBC Three Counties Radio coming down to. So they're on about recording some interviews to do with surrounding VE Day, and we've lined up Bill. Bill's going to speak to her because he remembers VE Day firsthand, although he was about 8 when he.
Yeah.
And I was speaking. Oh, bless him! I was speaking to him. Was it? Yeah, it must have been last week or the week before. Lining him up, prepping him for 3 counties coming down, and he's so humble. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, well, what should I say? Like, what do you think? Like, will they be interested in what I've got to say?" I was like, "Fucking damn right, mate!" Like when he was telling me they used to go down to the shelter on an air raid, come back up the next day, and your neighbour's house is gone. It's like, all right, they've been bombed out. Saying that the thing he mainly remembers is about the smog. Like you can see 5 foot in front of you. And as a kid, his dad used to tell him stories about sweets being on shop, like in shops and that. And he had no comprehension of it because all he was used to was rationing. Yeah. And I was like, that bloody hell, Bill. Like you got so much to
how
say.
lucky we are.
Yeah, exactly. Because he said he's written a book as well about like a memoir of his life, and he goes, you want to fucking bring that down, like all that, but so humble, like just what they want to hear my story.
His nickname was Mr. Judo, wasn't he? Because he was a judo instructor for 50 years.
Yeah.
A local area, so he's a bit of a legend.
Well, that's what he said, because he said he had like a lady friend up until recently, and she ditched him because they kept going out in Stevenage, and he'd be walking along, and everyone would be coming up to him saying hello, and she couldn't put up with it. All right. Absolute legend. Good on you, Bill.
Yeah, so that was Tuesday. And then Friday, we went to Watford.
We did indeed.
And the Tank Regiment veterans played the Watford veterans.
Yep.
We had a good laugh, didn't we?
I thought it was brilliant, you know.
It was really nice. It was at a local sort of a sports club.
Yeah.
And you refereed it.
Yeah.
He was very professional. A lot more professional than I was.
Yeah, you was quite shocked, wasn't you?
Yeah, he told people off and they listened to you.
Yeah. That's the thing with refereeing. Like you got to go, right, this is my expectation. This is this is that. Start as you mean to go on. And but yeah, who was it? Princess. We had some trouble. I had some trouble off him.
Tell Princess off, didn't you?
Yeah. Him and the Watford captain, they come to blows, and I turn around and I think there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on, and managed to sort it out. And it's like, come on, lads, shake hands. And I think it was Princess went, I'm not shaking his hand.
Then AD, he was 53 the day after. He got elbowed in the face.
Yeah, I missed that. So
he's got a black eye now.
Yeah, you sent me the picture. It must have been on my blind side.
I think they subbed him and he sat down, and all of a sudden he went, who the fuck was that? I think he wanted to kill him, and he's an handy bloke, he is.
Yeah. But it was quite good. There was some good football. I mean, so what was it? The Tank Regiment went 1-0 down. And to be honest with you, I thought, I think they could be onto a bit of a hide in here, because Watford did look good. They looked fitter. But in the second half...
And that Watford team play together. They are...
Oh, do they?
I think so, yeah. They're a team, aren't they? A local team.
Yeah. But the second half, the Tank Regiment come out, and it was a completely different team.
Half-time, they had a couple of beers in a fag, and...
and come out.
Yeah.
And who was the manager? Feggy. So... at some point, we interviewed him on the day. He claims to be the tactical mastermind that manufactured the Royal Tank Regiment win. So we'll hear from him.
Good old Figgy. But yeah, it was 3-1.
3-1 to the Royal Tank Regiment.
And a penalty that was missed, unfortunately.
That was AD, wasn't it? Yeah. And then we went down to Watford v Burnley, wasn't it? Had a bit of corporate hospital. Was it really corporate hospitality? I wouldn't go that far, but they've got a veterans lounge down at Watford, which I think, I have to admit, even as a Luton fan, is quite incredible.
I don't think any other team can beat that at the minute.
Yeah. Because there was all the artwork of the poppy wall.
Yeah, lest we forget, there was a Tommy walking through no man's land. Yeah, it was nice,
really good, wasn't it?
And they put a bit of lunch on for us, some sandwiches, and well, Feggy said that was very posh. Really posh sandwiches.
It was nice, but I wouldn't go that far.
No, it was nice. Like, I don't really be ungrateful, but it was nice.
So. And it's all sorted out by Luther Blizzett, who played for Watford, England, AC Milan. They're the ones I know of. I told my dad, I goes, do you remember Luther Blizzett? And he went, yeah, I remember him, Miss it, Blizzett. So, well, I don't know, but he must have been all right. But him and his missus are doing a lot for veterans down that way, aren't they?
they couldn't do enough for us. And then we went and watched a bit of the game.
Yeah.
A bit of the game.
Bit of the game, yeah.
Back in the bar.
You nicked a flag, didn't you?
Borrowed
a flag.
Yeah. They passed me a big, I threw it up to me, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I borrowed it. I forgot to give it back.
But there was some other famous faces there, weren't there?
Yeah.
Not in our lounge, but we saw them. So
Vinnie Jones, Paul Ince, Pochettino.
Yeah, all the legends coming out to see Watford play. But you can't get away from the fact that Watford mascot is creepy as fuck, isn't
the
it?
Hornet. Yeah.
Touching kids, I'm saying, on the sideline.
He did like kids.
I don't know, there was that Chelsea. I don't know why I'm relating this to touching kids, but there was a Chelsea pensioner there, wasn't there?
Yeah, Charles, what a lovely bloke.
He was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah, really nice bloke. It'd be nice to get in touch with him, actually.
We should have got the microphone out on him because I learned so much about the Chelsea pensioners and what they do and that.
Maybe I can get in touch with him. Maybe we could do a Beyond the Wire.
Yeah, definitely.
With him.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? Like
really telling us there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about. And I've met a few Chelsea pensioners, but you know, the ins and outs of what they get up to. And he's been on Tinder, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's just got himself on Tinder because he's fed up with hanging around with 300 miserable blokes. But
yeah, we see when you have a beer with them and that, you see a different side with these blokes.
Yeah. And there was, I mean, from my point of view, I was a honorary tanky for the day. And I was saying to you before we started recording how I felt part of the fold. Like there wasn't any piss taking. I've been to some veteran stuff before with engineers, surprisingly, and I don't know. It just feels a bit uncomfortable. But I didn't feel like that with you and your mates. Good. I felt welcomed. And
we'll get you a black boiler suit.
Yeah, exactly. And
Peck had a go at you, didn't he? Told you you're a pervert.
I didn't feel like he was digging at me. It actually made me sit there and think. So basically, Peck. So who is he?
He's a brummie. He's like ex-tanky, but very loud and quite aggressive. Not like in a horrible way.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a loud, in your face, lovely bloke.
Yeah, and his brother served in the Royal Engineers, so he brought it to my attention.
You're disgusting perverts.
Royal Engineers just want to get naked bar, and it could be anywhere, and it made me sit there and think, like, that's normal, isn't it? And it was like a little counselling session. Like, no, Stuart, it's not normal.
Well, I didn't realise because obviously we used to do naked bar.
Yeah,
but it was on a certain occasion. Someone had shouted, but you lot were just—I didn't realise you just got naked. Standard.
Yeah. So that was a eye opener. But yeah, I felt it was good, and it was good to be among veterans, like in a nice environment.
They're a good bunch of lads.
Yeah,
a lot of the lads who were there. So.
I was quite sad. So Chris Bryant has set this up, hasn't he? And his idea, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm a bit disappointed. I wanted him to come on and we'll like speak to us about it, and he was a bit shy, wasn't he? Yeah. And I sort of forget that a lot of people, when you put a microphone in front of them, they just they could be the most outgoing person in the world, like your mate Cheats, and suddenly they'd just freeze. So so his idea is to have regimental veteran teams. Now there is a movement for like EFL, the English Football League. So like Everton have got a veterans team. Watford, obviously, Millwall. Sunderland. Yeah. I think there are a few dotted around, and it's becoming a bit of a movement. But Chrissy Bryant's idea is to have like a Royal Tank Regiment veterans team, which he's set up, and he wants other regiments, units, corps, whatever, to have their own unit sort of veterans football team, and then have some sort of a tournament or go around the country playing each other.
He's planning on setting it up, or seeing if he can set the football team up. He's planning on setting the football team up as an association branch. So where the Tank Regiment have got the Plymouth branch, Bristol branch, Bournemouth branch, the London branch, there'll be a football team branch.
Yeah.
Because they've got the association's got to move with the times at the end of the day. They want to keep young people involved and interested.
No, you've got to move. Because this is you didn't play. You was down there. You led the team out with your flag and give the ref a bit of shit. But you said like you loved it, like you enjoyed being part of it.
And I see people I ain't seen for years, and we had a good old chat and a laugh and a joke, and you know they give me some stories and some bits. It's just a good way to catch up with each other. And it's an excuse to meet up. We had Twinny from Liverpool, we had Princess from Plymouth, we had
Feggy from Dover.
We had Peck from the Midlands. Gaz, like Scotty, they're from like Leicester.
Yeah.
Few
lads from Watford, weren't there? But
yeah, but we had people from all over the place. But I say it's a good way just a good excuse to meet up.
Yeah. I just thought it's worth mentioning again about the VE Day event on the 11th of May down in Stevenage, Fallon Valley Park. I'd like to see people down there. Yeah. I think we'll get a good crowd.
Also on that day,
go on.
In Sunderland, they've got a football tournament, a VE Day Cup, I think it is, and Chris Bryant's leading a team.
So Chris isn't coming to our event.
No, but he lives in down Sussex way. Yeah, he's going all the way to Sunderland for.
Yeah, he loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, but fair.
He's got a shit haircut though.
Yeah, it looks like German, 1980s German.
But yeah, we've got. I mentioned it last week. I think we've got the some signed football memorabilia, some football tickets. We're going to have some of the stuff that's going to go into the raffle. The signed football shirts we're going to have a silent auction. My friend James is setting up the website as we speak, so look out for that. But yeah, it should be a good day. We're just relying on Mr. Sunshine, I guess, which is always the way in Britain. But we'll make it happen, whatever the weather, should I say. I would like to just bring up, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because it was shared, the video of Al Khan's, the Veterans Minister, talking in Parliament, was going around TikTok and Facebook and that. And he brought up quite an interesting fact that in the UK, there's just under 70 staff working within his department supporting veterans. And there's over 2 million veterans in the UK supported by 70 staff. Whereas in Canada, for example, they've got 500,000 veterans supported by a Veterans Office of Affairs with 3,500 staff.
So
mad, isn't it? Like,
but some people, I've heard people saying, people got to look after themselves, but not everyone can.
Yeah.
You don't know what your circumstances are. So I did see a comment on Facebook. Someone was saying it's just it's more money to go to waste, more people to pay.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's about some people do need help or a bit of guidance, or their families.
Yeah. But there needs to be someone in government. It's not. This is the thing. So off the back of this, I looked into it. So there's in Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland, there's a Veterans Commissioner. Yeah. So a Veterans Commissioner is someone independent, away from government, that can listen to what veterans need and guide and basically say to the government, like, look, this is what you should be doing. This is where you're failing. Because Al Khan's, for all his intent, is still a member of parliament that represents his constituents. I think he's on the Defence Select Committee. He's the Veterans Minister. I mean, how much time has one person got? Yeah. And it's not about, people should look after themselves. It's like it's about having that voice, isn't it? Like making things better.
Well, it's things like the Armed Forces Covenant. Holding that to account. It's MPs using their authority to make people do what they're promising.
Exactly. Well, that Armed Forces Covenant's fucking bollocks.
Yeah, but I'm saying, there's no one really. Like I say, it's spread so thin that there's no one managing any of this.
Yeah, yeah. So then what
the
happens?
Last Veterans Minister, all he was bothered about was getting ID cards. And Snotty from that's Breakfast Club. He got his through, and he's got the wrong photo.
But the funniest thing was he had to ask his mates. He goes, "Is that me?"
He looked like a shrew, this little ugly little bloke.
It looks like a cartoon villain, doesn't he? Like,
he looked like the barman at The Simpsons.
Yeah, that was Mo.
That's what he looked like.
But yeah, it's interesting how England, I think Scotland or one of the devolved nations has had the Veterans Commissioner since like 2014. 10 years later, England hasn't got one. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. But yeah, anyway, that's my rant for this week. Right, today's icebreaker question. What's the best or worst insult you ever got in the military or heard someone getting, Steve?
I had a mate called Honeybun. His surname is Honeybun. Stanley Honeybun, I'm going to name him.
Yeah.
And I was at phase 2 of him. Lovely bloke he was. But Stanley Honeybun. And I remember the corporal was like, I'm not fucking calling you Honeybun. So he was just named Trooper.
I was waiting for something fucking hilarious.
Yeah, honey bun. I think he got married and he took his wife's name for some reason.
Yeah.
Lovely bloke.
Fucking hell. Do you remember? You must.
Sorry for slagging you off, mate.
Maybe you're like Mong. Oh, you're a fucking Mong, mate. Mongo.
Yeah.
Like Drugala. Like the bloke, the fat biff that can't. This is just fucked up all the time.
Yeah, I've had some funny ones sent in, to be fair.
We'll come to them in a bit.
All my ideas. But no, Princess, that's a good one. That's a nickname. It's not like a insult.
Yeah.
His name's Leia.
Yeah, you did say that. So what's his real name? His real name is
Mark Leia.
Mark Leia.
Yeah,
Call him Princess.
I called him Princess.
Brilliant.
I remember. I was in Iraq, I think, and I got told go and see some fitter, a Remy fitter.
Yeah.
I went, what's his name? Sexy. I went, what the fuck? I go in a Remy tent and go, is Sexy there? And they're like, who the fuck's Sexy? And there was a bloke called, I think his name is Sexton. Or something like that.
Yeah.
But no one knew him as Sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I told the story before where Dave Hopkins turned up at the squadron and there was too many Daves, so he got told if he could be known as Disco Dave or Dave the Cunt. Needless to say, he chose Disco Dave. There was some good, like, nicknames was just part and parcel of it, wasn't it? Unless you were me and it was Stu.
Yeah, I was just Steve or Blackie.
Silla.
Yeah. Someone tried to call me Silla for a bit, but it didn't stick. I think there was a lot of people in my regiment got women's names. I had a mate called Emma because his surname was Noble.
Yeah.
My mate Greg got called Mandy for some reason. Susie because he had a really bad lisp. Although his missus told me, and my missus, that he got sucked off by a transvestite whose name was Susie. That's where he got his nickname from.
How does your missus know that?
Because Susie's missus told my missus that.
I see.
So,
bloody wives, they all talk, don't they?
Yeah. But he told everyone it's because he's got a really bad lisp. And he has.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go into a bit of Armed Forces and Veterans news. Do you have anything, Steve?
Got a little bit. There was a new weapon that was trialled by the 106th Regiment Royal Artillery.
Oh, yeah.
It is the Radio Frequency Directed Energy Weapon, or RFDEW.
Is this the same thing that you said was getting put on a ship?
No, that was a laser.
Oh, okay.
This is something else. But basically, it destroyed a swarm of drones.
Okay.
And it
where was it used?
Somewhere. On land.
Okay. Was it used in aggression or?
No, this was a trial.
Okay.
But it did stop a swarm of drones.
So the thing I'm hoping with it being used by the artillery is it's automatically targeting, because obviously they can't target shit, can they? Do you ever work with the artillery?
I think I mentioned it before. We had an ambulance get blown up or something. I don't really remember it, but a few people told me about it. And we had to deny it, but we couldn't get to it. Every time we tried to get to it, we got ambushed or whatever. So this artillery bloke, don't worry, I'll sort that out.
Yeah.
They fired this, they got this from Camp Bastion, they fired this guided missile launcher and it missed.
Fucking hell.
So I think they had to get an helicopter to bomb it.
Bloody hell. I just remember the platoon commander calling in. I think he called in a smoke shell and it landed behind us and it was like, cheers, lads.
No, we had them with us in Afghanistan, but they'd done the drones. You know,
yeah.
Called now. Chizzy was on about it, he knew all about it.
Yeah. The RAF done it as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Kept crashing.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good news, if you like. We're going in the right direction.
We're going. But are the artillery though? That's
hopefully, yeah. Hopefully they shoot the enemy's drones.
Yeah.
There was a UK Armed Forces go-karting championship.
Bloody hell, they do it all, don't they?
Yeah. James Ling of the RAF won.
Wow.
What a load of bollocks. Fucking go-karting.
I bet he walks around in a tracksuit, doesn't he?
Probably, yeah, like a stick.
Yeah.
Also, there was a ceasefire in Ukraine.
Okay.
Bingo reckons they didn't adhere to that.
Yeah.
He said he actually sent me a big list of everything that was fired during Kiev, and he sent me a couple of videos.
Nice.
So it definitely weren't a ceasefire.
Well, old Trumpy boy, he's looking at pulling out because he can't. He's not getting his way, is he? So he's like, "I'm off. Right, see you later. You deal with it."
Yeah.
Fuck him. Well, what did I see? Well, the Pope is dead, isn't he?
Is he? Who's that?
I don't know what his name was, but he died. Interestingly,
Is that the Catholic bloke?
Yeah, the Catholic head of the Catholic Church, Steve. Interestingly, he died after a meeting with J.D. Vance. So, what do you reckon? There's any conspiracies there? And also, obviously, it's Easter weekend, so Christ died on Friday, and the Pope died today on Easter Monday. Do you reckon there's anything in that?
I don't know, but on Easter Monday, the day that you have all the Morris dancers and the Easter bonnets.
I don't know. Maybe.
What's
that got to do with the Pope?
I'm wondering if he had an Easter bonnet and
what, like J.D. Vance, like gave him it as a gift. And,
yeah, poison bonnet.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Interesting.
Trump might be looking at becoming the next Pope.
Yeah, imagine that. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are Catholic, it's a state of mourning, I guess, for you. So I don't know what. I'm sorry. Good luck. Yeah. What'd you say?
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, sorry for your loss. Yeah. What else was there?
Every cloud has a silver lining. Someone else to get a job.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I did see that Keir Starmer has assured the Armed Forces PADS community that he's going to provide a decent pad for every member of the Armed Forces that needs one. Because, I mean, I think both you and I were fortunate that we were block rats, weren't we?
Yeah.
But some of the stories I've seen, particularly in the last few years, of like pads houses with like mould and damp and going without hot water for months on end, and it just seemed like a bit of a shit show.
I think when I was in, though, quite often we'd be on tour and there'd be a woman, her husband's on the tour, and luckily she always had a bloke in the house to do these odd jobs. So it happened quite a lot. So,
any names?
Oh, I'm not saying nothing. Not me, I know that.
Yeah.
But there was some good blokes who looked after other people's wives.
What, plugged all the leaks and all that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, filled some cracks.
Yeah. Oh. And then I did come across another story about the UK's Trident Vanguard class submarines, like the nuclear class submarines. And I didn't realise, I think I shared last week that I know someone that works down in Devonport, and they'd said that the UK was like minutes away from not living up to its NATO, what would you call it? NATO commitments. That would be the word. NATO commitment of patrolling with a nuclear class submarine. But interestingly, so apparently the decision, so that the Trident Vanguard class submarines were due for renewal in 2006, and in 2010 it was ordered that the UK government were going to delay replacing them. So we're now well beyond their initial 25-year lifespan, and it just made me think, like, I had loads of shit kit, I'm sure you did, and that's, you just make the improvise, adapt, and overcome. But you don't want to be God knows how far down in a fucking nuclear submarine that's fucking 10 years past its sell-by date. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse.
But I heard on the news the other day as well that Britain are going to give up some of our fishing water to the EU.
Okay.
Cod and all that sort of stuff. You know, we're going to give them more of our waters. And this is what I'm saying. So we're protecting Europe with our nuclear weapon that's costing us billions of pounds every year. But then we still haven't. I don't get it.
Is that a thing, is it? Because that was like one of the main reasons why the fisherman community wanted to come out of Europe.
No, it was like yesterday, I think it was. There was a...
Fucking hell. I bet they'll be in uproar, wouldn't they? Yeah. Just fucking give it away.
Yeah.
Give the fucking family fortune away. Fuck it.
And get rid of our nuclear deterrent and save a few quid that way and just say we've got loads.
Well, we're not getting rid of it. They're
but why don't we just say we've got 15 submarines? You'll never find them.
Because they're all fucked.
Yeah. They're stealthiest submarines you've ever known, and you'll never find them, Russia.
Yeah. Fucking submariners are weirdos anyway. When I was up in, I don't know if I've shared this, when I was up in Gairloch Head, we had a little visit to Faz Lane and went on a nuclear sub, and the submariner that took us round was strange. Like, that's all I can say. But I guess you'd have to be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy that.
No. You got anything else, Steve? Sorry,
Well, it's not news at the minute, but it's coming up. It's the Army Navy, and
when is that?
The 3rd of May. And from what people were talking about recently, there's a bit of a lack of interest because they're clamping down on all the bars and the the liveliness of it, they seem to be clamping down. But from what I've heard, there's the Army RAF in Gloucester, and that's on the 17th of May.
Yeah.
People are going towards that.
Are they?
That seems to be more how the Army Navy was.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it'd be a good day out either way, but
Yeah.
it's not what it used to be, apparently. I've never been.
Yeah. I have. I remember the first time I went, which must have been, 2011, 2012 maybe. It was quality. Like the Sappers Bar takes up the whole of the South Stand.
Yeah, but it's in the Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah, something like that. But it was good. And then I remember like the last time I went, which could have been 2016, 2015, somewhere around then. It like the bars had closed at half time, and it just lost its buzz, I think.
Yeah.
And then you go down Twickenham, where the train station is, like the Cabbage Patch, and it's vile. Like it fucking stinks. Like blokes fucking unconscious on the street, fucking sick everywhere. But yeah, Gloucester sounds like the place to be.
Yeah.
That'll get ruined, won't it?
Yeah. In a few years' time, they'll move somewhere else, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, is that it, is it?
That's the news, yeah.
So, the listener sit rep, which is anything that's come in, Steve, on the listener sit rep.
Where's my list? I've got loads.
I've got one, and I've forgotten the guy's name. What did I say his name was? Les Brittle, I think.
Yeah.
He's messaged us a few times. Forgive me, Les, because I did say probably months ago I'd read this out. But he runs a breakfast club. It runs the first Saturday of the month at the King's Head, Lichfield in Staffordshire, which interestingly is where the Staffordshire Regiment was formed in 1705. And he says all are welcome. I've done my basic training at Lichfield. I think that camp's closed down now. But my mum and dad do live in Alton up in Staffordshire. So maybe if I'm ever up there, I'll pop in and say hello. But yeah, Les Brittle.
Someone's a few months ago, or a couple of months ago, I was talking about funny ship names.
Okay.
I can't remember his name, but someone sent me in. There was in the 50s up to 71. There was the Gay class patrol boats.
Okay.
So you had HMS's Gay, and it's HMS's Gay Archer, Gay Bombardier, Gay Bowman, Gay Bruiser.
Well, Bowman was gay, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Gay Carabinier, Gay Cavalier, Gay Centurion, Gay Charger, Gay Charioteer, Gay Dragon, Gay Fencer, and Gay Forester.
Oh, yeah.
And they was patrol class boats.
But how many's there? What, about 10 or something, is it?
Yeah.
That's probably an entire fleet of the Royal Navy now.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But I'll see a picture of, it's like 1956 or something, of a picture of a fleet of the Royal Navy, and it was in the Solent.
Yeah.
And it was just ships as far as you could see. And I know my mate Paul, the sailor, he says when he joined up in the late 80s,
Yeah.
the Navy was a proper Navy.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a kid, because my auntie lived in Gosport.
Okay.
And we used to go over to Portsmouth, and they had Navy days in the summer holidays, and you could go on all the ships, and it was impressive. And now, we ain't even got a gay class patrol boat.
Bring them back. Bring them back, I say.
Yeah, bring the gays back.
Bring the gays back. Right. Where were we? So more listener sit rep stuff. What else you got?
Something from me.
All right.
Well, I'd just like to mention one of my old bosses.
Okay.
I know from him for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Simon Letid.
Go on.
No, really nice bloke. He's from the Channel Islands.
Okay.
Ginger actually mentioned him the other day.
Yeah.
His family owned the only kebab shop in Guernsey.
All right.
So, yeah, that's Simon Letid.
Okay.
Really nice bloke. But I started a war with him and Ginge when we were in Iraq. First time I went to Iraq, our little camp.
Yeah.
They must have had like a welfare budget. So we had a barber on camp.
Okay.
A tailor. These Iraqis lived on our camp. We had a little like chogy DVD shop as well on our camp.
Yeah.
And so yeah, every day we got a different haircut, and we got our creases sewn in, all badges and that.
Lovely.
Looked really smart. And I went in the boss's room one day, and I think I got some, the athlete's foot powder.
Yeah.
It stunk, didn't it? It's like Parmesan cheese.
Yeah.
Covered all these, because the boss had his own little room.
Yeah.
We lived in like an old bank or something. It was, the rest of us were in a big like room. So I threw all this talc over his stuff. He come storming in the room. I think Ginger was in the gym. And he went, who the fuck's done that? I said, I don't know, but I said, I see Ginger in your room. He went, right. So he got all his clothes, took them to the tailor, and got them all sewn up, all the sleeves, all the legs, all sewn up in his combats.
Yeah.
So then next day, Ginger's gone. Oh, dog in a fight.
The cat's up there.
Dog's just going mad.
They're having a mad one.
Anyway, yeah, so Ginger's gone, who the fuck's done that? I went, I don't know, but I see the boss round. He went, right, that's it. So he's gone in there, and the boss had a hoodie with. Oh, dog's The boss had an FBI hoodie.
Yeah.
So Ginger wrote on the FBI, fat bastard inside. And this battle, this war, and I glued American coins to Ginger's rifle.
Yeah.
So he had quarters and stuff all on his rifle. Then I glued a Gatorade bottle to his rifle. This war just went on for weeks, and it was me.
Yeah.
That was Simon Latid, top bloke.
So you're looking for him, are you?
Yeah, I'm looking for love.
Didn't any of the boys at the weekend know where he was?
Well, no, he's in Guernsey, but I'm just saying, like, we ain't heard from him for a while.
All right.
Top bloke.
Happy days.
So Tid's Kebabs or something. He's called.
Tid's Kebabs on Guernsey.
Yeah. So if anyone's been to Tid's Kebabs, let us know.
Maybe we'll give him a ring.
That'd be a funny one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right. Should we play this voice?
Yeah, we've
note?
got a voice note.
I've been letting people down again. So Matty Milner sent me a voice note in. God knows how long ago, but I think it's to do with punishments. So we'll give it a listen. Press play.
Play.
Hey mate, hope you're okay. Just wanted to drop you this message then. So, as you know, pre-deployment training for Afghan, and I was living on the patch, so can't remember what the exact dates were, but basically this kind of has taught me a lesson. So I know we were talking about lessons that have been made and whether punishment actually does it. This one actually worked. So pre-deployment training, I was staying in my house up to, we had to report to the squadron at whatever it was, like 0600 or something, to travel to Salisbury Plain. I didn't wake up to my alarm. Apparently the lads had been around the house and they were throwing stones at my window trying to wake me up. Didn't wake me up. So all of a sudden I woke up at probably 8 o'clock in the morning. Looked at my phone, shit myself, thought, fucking hell, what's going on? Sped up, as you know, it takes 5, 6, 7 minutes it took to drive round to up to the squadron headquarters. Drove round there, quickly ran down to Squadron HQ, walked into the office. Mick Knowles was there.
Good old Mick.
Where the fuck have you been, he says, just looking at me. I obviously said, slept in. So he said, basically, my punishment was, he said to me, right, you know where Crash Gate 9 is? Yeah, I know where that is. Right, go and get me the padlock serial number on Crash Gate 9. So off I go, sprinted around Crash Gate 9, ran back 15 minutes later, whatever it was, gave him the piece of paper with the the padlock serial number on it. He just screwed it up, threw it in the bin right in front of my face, smiling at me. I thought, you fucking cunt. What did he do then? Asked me to go and get the next crash gate padlock serial number. So off I went again, ran down, got it, came back in. I went, do you want me to throw that in the bin for you, staff? He went, no, give it to me. Screw it up, chucked it straight in the bin. Bit of a laugh, obviously. Started laughing at me. We had a bit of a joke about it after. But the main punishment was driving down to Salisbury Plain in a DEF. So I had to take one of the rear party vehicles back from 10 Squadron then down to Salisbury. And it was horrible. You know what they're like, those 60 mile an hour rattlers were horrible. Anyway, that's it. Take care, mate. All the best. See you in a bit, pal.
I want to know why his wife didn't wake him up.
Was it his wife or was it someone else's wife? we all know what goes on in Pad's estate.
I don't know, do we?
Yeah.
But I guess that's a bonus for living in the block, because blokes would just kick your door in, wouldn't they? Yeah. But fair play to the lads for going to throw stones at his window. Yeah. And then good old Mick taking pleasure in beasting young sappers.
You know when you stand to attention, your hands go by your pockets. Then
Yeah.
a mix goes to his belt.
If that, mate, if that. He's like, as we said, the old T-Rex, like, woohoo! Should have seen him running. Horrible. So yeah, that was Matty Milner. I said I'd read that out ages ago, but I'm a lazy bastard. Any other sit reps? No?
No.
So the question for this week to our listeners is the same as the icebreaker one. We want to know what your best or worst insult you ever got in the military is or was. Whether you heard it or whether it was aimed at you. We want to know. Send them in. All right. Moving on to Frontline Focus. So any classic insults, and which started in basic training. That was the induction to everything military.
One of my corporals, his name was Corporal Donofy. He was a Fusilier. I don't know what battalion, but I called him Corporal Dorothy once.
Okay.
Oh, and he beasted me.
Yeah.
This was at Bassingbourne, and we used to you get gated, which means not gated like it means you run to the gate. Because there was a gate about 500 metres away. Gate. Because I called him Dorothy. And he was a Geordie, and his thing was, I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you with a soggy end. Or he's going to stick his drill pay stick through your ears.
Yeah.
Ride you round.
Yeah. Ride you like a motorcycle. Yeah, I remember those ones. But that's what Matty Milner's saying. I should have explained that you can imagine RAF camps are fucking huge, aren't they? And they got these things called on the perimeter fence crash gates. So if obviously there's an accident or a crash or an emergency, then there's easy access to different points on the runway. So when Mick's sending him off to these crash gates, each one's probably a good fucking 15-minute run, like. But yeah.
Well, my platoon commander was a para, and I remember, I don't know why, but I decided to wind him up and tell him I think the Marines are better.
That's brave, isn't it?
So I got set Bassingbourne. There was we had 100-metre shooting, well, a couple of 100-metre shooting range. So he told me to go and tell him how many lanes are in the shooting range. I said, there's 12, sir. I know there is. We was there the other day. Go and double check. I looked at it, went, see it, right in the distance. He went, go and double check. And you got 5 minutes or so I had to run there. And I come back and I said, there's 12, sir. Definitely out of breath. Go and double check. But I didn't gob off again.
Because that's the thing we want to know. We want to speak about phrases as well. Like it doesn't just have to be insults. I remember the big one I learned in the forces was sheep's teeth. Did you ever have that?
Yeah.
What are you looking at, sheep's teeth? But interestingly, going back to Mick Knowles, he had fucking sheep's teeth because you're on about his arms being short. His teeth were short as well.
Has he had them sorted?
What, Turkey?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll link him in with your mate Scass.
Yeah, Twinny's got some context.
But yeah, sheep's teeth or like sheep's teeth can. I'd say it all the time. Like if you were
I had a lad, Albert. It was two Alberts. I don't think we'll get him because one of them didn't make it home. But this is another Albert no one liked, and he was a sheep's teeth. I went with the Scots DJs to Iraq, and when I come back, I got stuck in the same room as this dirty grot, and if no one liked him. Every day we'd finish work, and he was in like the stores or something.
Yeah,
and he'd come in and he'd open a can of Foster's every day, have a swig out of it, a big swig, put it down, and go and have a shower. My mate Louis Miles and Skid lived next door. They'd come in, all happy and jolly, piss in his beer, and go to a shower. And Albert would come back and finish his beer. It was Foster's topped with piss.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I think I've shared this one before, but it's sort of similar. I had a Welsh sergeant in basic training, and he used to walk around going, "Your ass is grass, and I'm the fucking lawnmower." And I will try it because it was even funnier. You'd imagine he's Welsh, and it's like he had sheep's teeth, horrible bastard, like built like a rake. But he was like, your ass is grass, and I'm the fucking lawnmower. But yeah,
my section commander was a para, and he just called us all hats.
Yeah, fucking hat.
Yeah, hat.
Crap hat.
Yeah, but what paras don't realise is the tank regiment were the first regiment to have a beret. So,
well, there you go.
Really, everyone else is a hat.
Yeah. What other things do you remember?
I remember getting beasted naked, and I was talking to Bingo about this the other day.
Yeah,
my section commander, he's come back Saturday night, pissed out his nut, get us all out of bed. Right, everyone naked, do press ups. I was 16, and I think I mentioned this in the last one. And Bingo said like he had a similar thing, mess tin order.
Yeah. Oh, mess tin order.
Yeah, where just your belt and your mess tin on your belt covering your bits. And he was 16.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird. But then your section commander was probably only about 23.
That makes it all right then, does it?
They seemed old men, didn't they, when you're 16, 17?
Yeah. One we used to have all the time on adventure training or like doing some shit like
hill walking
and stuff like that. It'd be civvies would pay thousands to do this. It's like that, would they?
Yeah.
Really? Or the other one, when there was like shit weekend duties on the go. Don't forget, lads, you're paid 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's like, fucking hell.
Ain't raining, ain't training.
Ain't raining, it
ain't snowing, I ain't going.
Yeah. All that shit just to fucking break you. Yeah. It's character building.
Yeah, it was. Not bullying, it's character building.
You can't get away with it in Civvy Street nowadays, can you? Fucking character building, you fucking sheep teeth, bloody bastard. Yeah, come on, you got some more.
I can't really think.
Do you know what works for what we...
The best way, ginge. Sorry, ginge.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ginge is just ginge.
Fox piss.
Yeah, but you're just called ginge.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like one of my best mates, Fox Piss.
Yeah.
That's his other name. He's Ginge Williams.
Yeah.
And we had another, Ginge Reynolds, Ginge Lawson.
Yeah.
He was just Ginge, followed by your surname. That was it.
Well, that was do you remember? And similar to that anyone called Smith was Smudge.
Yeah.
And the amount of times, like since leaving the military, some civvy would be going, "Oh, you served in the army, didn't you?" And they'd be like, "Oh, do you know Lee Smith?" You'd be like, "Oh, Smudge." And they'd be like, "Yeah." You'd be like, "Nah." Like, well, I've got a few here that because when you said about it, I was like, I can't think of any. Like, this is going to be the worst episode ever, and it may still well be. But as I started thinking, more and more come out, and one which is quite fitting for podcasting is the insult which got thrown around. You've got a face for radio and a voice for silent film, fella. Oh, I thought that's quite fitting.
It's a nice
for this one.
Yeah.
But saying that, I've just said the word fella. Now, you brought it up when we first met, didn't you? That someone had told you to call me fella because raw engineers hate it.
Yeah.
And we do. It sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah, that wasn't a word we used in the tank regiment, but I know some regiments did.
Yeah.
We'd never call each other fella.
Yeah. It's like that. You're right, fella. And an engineer would be like, "The fuck did you just call me?"
My mate Susie, he said a thing they use now in the tank regiment is cook. And that's short for cookhold.
Cookhold? What, as in where you fucking missus goes, you watch your missus get filled in by 10 black blokes?
Basically. I said to him, "What is it?" And he basically said, "It's for men who've got very small penises who let their wife go with other men." So in the tank regiment now, everyone gets called cook when you're new instead of Nig. Right. I suppose we're not in Germany no more. Yeah. Nig's gone out the window, so now it's just cook.
Bloody hell.
Perverts.
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
Yeah.
They're talking of sexual ones. Used to get used regularly when somebody fucked up. Or was that bloke in the squadron that was a sheep's teeth or a mong and that. The best part of you slid down your mum's leg. Which I think's brilliant. It's got so many levels to it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like, what did I say last week? I said, that was it. That when you were telling the story about going down to pick up the Barnet shirt and someone was having a go at you, abusing you, and I said, like, well, you're used to it. You were in the British Army. You were professionally abused, and it's like this as well. It's like some blokes could be fucking. They'd have no personality. They'd be fucking thick as anything, but like stuff like these insults and little anecdote stuff like this would just slide off their tongue.
One of my sergeant majors, Banny, he was a legend. He used to swear a lot. Like sergeant majors do, but we had a parade and there was all civvies there, and he come out and went, "Right, you cunts, no fucking swearing."
I'll tell you what. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I'd say that was it.
Yeah. But it was just just those little like well-timed moments, and I use it now. This one now still like, stop coughing or I'll put you in one. You know, like say you're on, I don't know, doing drill or saying like you have to be quiet. Someone's got a cold and they're coughing. It's like, stop coughing or I'll put you in one. I say it to my missus all the time now. Oh God, what about? I think you mentioned it earlier on. What was it? Pays to be a winner.
Yeah,
that breaks you, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I was never a winner.
Yeah.
I was always like in the middle. Like say like, and I think there's no point trying because I'm going again.
Because that was it, wasn't it? It's like to that tree, everyone to that tree and back again. The first three don't go again. It pays to be a winner, gentlemen. And I've just got flashback of some like full screw going.
And we used to come out of the cookhouse in phase 1, and we get gated, and you come out and it's about 300 meters away, something like that, gate, and you'd run, and I just think I'll run, but I'm not gonna be in the top 10, so I might as well just mingle in the middle. I'm gonna throw up anyway, just lose me lunch, because that's the other thing. You go into the cookhouse, and I don't know about other training visuals, but it's probably just my full screw. He would always be at the front of the queue, and when he's at his lunch, everyone's got to go. So if you was at the back of the queue, you had to scoff your food down so quick, and then we'd have to run to this gate and puke all your food up, and it's unnecessary. But I weren't built for speed, so I just cruised along and enjoyed myself.
Exactly. And did you enjoy yourself?
I did, I really
Even
did.
when you were getting stripped down naked as a 16-year-old child.
Character building.
Character building. Here you go. Here's a few more. This one may suit you. If common sense were a hairstyle, you'd be bald. Always good on drill. Your weapon drill looks like a toddler wrestling a deck chair. Did you do much drill in the 10th Regiment, as in weapons drill?
No, not at all.
Nah, weren't your thing.
I know, like on big parades, we'd have the standard party, which I don't know who's in the RSM, the QM or RQMS, whatever it was, and they would do a little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
But yeah, wasn't our thing.
What about even your shadow doesn't want to be associated with you? It's just pure abuse, isn't it? All right.
We had a bloke in my squadron when I first got there. He was a staff sergeant, troop leader.
Yeah.
We used to get sometime. And he never used to swear, he'd say feign. So he'd go feign off.
All right.
I don't know what that was all about. I've never heard anyone else say that, but he didn't say fuck, he said feign.
Ah,
but,
strange.
Weird. And he used to ride like an old granny's bike. And he used to come down the tank park. His name was Gus. And
Fucking
it was like the Wicked Witch of the West's bike. You'd see him and everyone started going.
Oh, what about I found it? What about this one? I remember. You run like a chicken with a migraine. Some of them, because do you know what? You can go on. I did have a quick look on. What's it called? Is it ARSE? The message board ARSE, the Army rumour service, and they've got like an entire sort of it's not Wikipedia, it's some sort of Wikipedia thing with like loads of like comments and sayings and that, and you couldn't make some of them up. Like, as I said, it was just some people were born natural at it, and you'd just be like, oh, I got no comeback to that. What about, have you had any phone, has anyone messaged in with something?
I've had a lot of people messaging.
Go on.
My phone's going now.
Is it? What with insults and?
All sorts of shit. Probably a few dick pics.
Standard.
Yeah. Right, so my mate Porridge, his real name's Barraclough, Mr. Barraclough from Porridge.
Oh, right, yeah. I'll get that link. I'll get it.
If you're looking for sympathy, you'll only find it be in between shit and syphilis in the dictionary.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Stewie Carr said he was in training and there was an inspection. This Welsh corporal was doing it, and he's inspecting Stewie's locker, and a fly flew into it. So he trashed his locker and said, "It's not a fucking zoo." Because a fly flew into his locker.
Fucking hell.
Mark Worcester, he said there was a lad called Private Straight, Stait.
Yeah.
Sorry, State. Sorry, not Straight.
Yeah.
And he was an admin nightmare and a slow learner. So he was always known as Shit State.
Yeah.
Slokes, he said there was a Scots Guards corporal that used to shout, "Get a grip of your shagging body."
Yeah.
Susie, he said some phrases he's often heard in training was lizard lips.
Yeah.
Cockwomble.
Yeah, standard.
And he's a big fan of the word crow.
Oh, crow bag.
Classic and timeless. And he said, I can add a squawk if I want. He said he also likes its meaning, which I didn't know this. Do you know what it means? Combat recruit of war, or casualty replacement of war.
Okay.
Never heard that before, but
maybe he's just made it up.
You could do, couldn't you? One of my old bosses, João, he's Portuguese. He was in the National Guard type thing in Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
He said if he failed to salute a senior rank, he'd be on the gate duty for 3 weeks. If the bunk was messy, he'd be waxing the whole barracks boots for the day. So, yeah, and his dad, hang on. His funniest phrase was a sergeant saying, because their rifles were G3s.
Okay.
So the sergeant would say, wank your G3 like it's your grandpa's cock, meaning to clean it. His dad was in the French Foreign Legion.
So even the Portuguese army are part of that.
His dad was in the French Foreign Legion, and he said his dad, in the barracks, they would tie your feet together while you was asleep with bootlaces. So at 5:30 in the morning, when they woke you up, you'd be late, which meant you'd be on a 5K run.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Just fuck with you, really.
Yeah.
My mate Skid, real name's Mark.
Yeah.
He's platoon sergeant. He used to give a pre-leave speech, which was, enjoy your week at home, don't get arrested, and I hope every single one of your family dies of cancer. Now fuck off.
Nice bloke then.
My mate Guy Fawkes, he said in phase 1 they used to do a body armour test, which was the corporal would stand in front of every one of you and punch you in the chest.
Yeah, good.
And he said, to this day, I don't know why, but downing a litre of water before conducting PT. Why was it? That's just to make sure you're hydrated.
Yeah, he's hydrate or die, which was, interestingly, another phrase said a lot. What about, do you remember, like, say you were in shit, or you may have been in shit, you weren't too sure, and you had to, the sergeant major had requested your presence in his office, and it was either an interview with tea and biscuits, an interview with just a cup of tea, or an interview with none of the above, and that was depending on whether you were in the shit, a little bit of shit, or he was giving you a congratulations.
Which was that was quite rare, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Didn't normally go to his office, did you?
No. Well, I was orderly dog, so I was his.
Actually, I remember getting called to the sergeant major's office. Right, he said bad. It was to empty his ashtray, which was like an artillery shell. You know, it was like probably fucking 500 fag butts. Like, years. And I got called from the tank park to go there, go and empty his ashtray and then polish it. Nice. For no reason, just
because
I
you were the sprog, the nig,
or a cook, whatever they call it now.
A cock.
Yeah. My mate Dan Clark, he sent a voice note if I can find it.
I was made to run across the field next to our accommodation block to a tree and asked the tree why I was such a cunt. I then ran back to the screw, out of breath, hanging out my arse. And then he said, what did the tree say? I said, nothing, Corporal, it's just a tree. He said, do you think I'm stupid? Run back and ask it again. So I fucking bolted back across this field, asked the tree why I was a cunt, came back and said whatever I said. I can't remember what it was, but I gave him some spiel and said that the tree said that I was a cunt, blah, 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 blah. And then he then said, do you think I'm fucking stupid? Trees can't talk. That's why you can't. Go and ask it again. And this went on approximately 6 times with him just saying the opposite to whatever I said. It was a fucking right laugh.
Sounds it. He sounded well posh.
Yeah, he's from Essex.
But
posh,
really?
Posh part of
right, okay. Yeah. But that's the thing, you can't win, could you? There was no winning.
Nah.
So they say it pays to be a winner. It's like, I ain't got no chance of winning.
I say when I gobbed off at my platoon commander and he said, go and count how many lanes on the Rangers. I think most Rangers had 12, didn't they?
Yeah. For
some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, why was it 12?
Why not?
I don't know. Did you ever go and do the butts?
Yeah, butts party.
What the fuck? And I remember I was 16 going, thinking it's all like automated.
Yeah.
You have to literally push and pull targets up. You sat there.
Targets up.
You're cracking.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
And you'd be in butts party, like sat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like sat, there was like a bench, and then you could look up and you could see the figure 11 targeting that.
And
you'd be eating stale sandwiches from the cookhouse.
Yeah, and then you get your wallpaper paste and your bits of paper. And
that was it. Yeah, hell, bringing it all back.
Yeah.
What was that?
I remember making smiley faces and black bits of paper on them and that. All good fun.
Yeah. I remember. So we had sort of nicknames, but this story's just come to my head. We had a bloke called Humps, and he was like he's one of the blokes. He's gone missing. So he was a sapper when I first got to the squadron. I got promoted. He was still a sapper, and then he got posted out. But he was called Humps, and he was like, I don't know, he had a head like a potato and he'd talk like this and be like, I'm sure he was like on the spectrum somewhere. He was definitely strange. And he'd be like, oh, yes. And he had these like glasses on, like sort of NHS glasses. And he'd be like, oh, yes, Stu, yes. You're so funny. Oh, lads, you're so funny. And you could wind him up like anything. And anyway, he was our G10 storeman. And so obviously being on an RAF camp, we managed to convince him that the RAF were recruiting pilots. And so we got Davey Littler, who knows your mate, Scars, PTI. So he comes in the G10 with his PTI uniform on. He goes, right, Humps, like you've heard the story. The RAF are recruiting. Are you interested in joining? He's like, oh, yes, I'd love that. He goes, right, Humps, all right, what we have to do, we have to do an initial G-force test. So he brought in one of that, like a wheeled office chair. Basically, Hump sat on it and we fucking fucked him off round, spinning him in a circle to the point where he flew off into like all the stores and that. And everyone was in fits of laughter. And it's got nothing absolutely whatsoever to do what we're talking about. But it was fucking brilliant. Story, yeah. That was fucking brilliant. And even after all that, with all the blokes laughing, and he's like fucking in the stores like this, he still thought, he still went up to Davey and goes, oh, did I pass, Davey? Poor fucker.
I've just reminisced.
Have you?
Yeah, we had a geezer called Shit Lips.
Shit Lips.
And we've spoke about this so many times recently because no one knows exactly the reason. There's so many rumours. And I think what happened was I was in Iraq, like Telic 1, and he got an infection on his lip. And he had to go to like a tropical disease tent or something. Well, this rumour's gone round. So there's rumours that I can't remember, like the dust off of shit got in his lips and got infected. Yeah. All this sort of stuff. The one I heard was that he was picking scabs off his arsehole and eating them. And he got an infection on his lips that you only get from scabs off your arse.
Yeah, nice.
And I think that's the best one, but his name was Shit Lips. And,
because this is the thing in the military, isn't it? Like, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. Yeah. And it's always the funny story that's going to stick, isn't it?
Yeah. Bottle sent in, I've got a few more that sent in. Bottle, he said because he stuttered, they used to make him sing all the time in phase 1 until they got bored. He said one lad, he said personally he thinks he had autism. One room inspection, he was in shit state, and the corporal inspecting him called him a spunk stain on the sheet of life. And from there, it went spunk bubble, and then just bubble. And then from there, it went to a frothy load of ejaculate. Basically, every spunk insult he could be called. But I like the fact his name was Bubble for a bit. Like it was a nickname from a nickname.
Yeah.
It just gets lost, didn't it?
Yeah.
Paul the sailor said he was on a ship and this gunnery officer bellowed from the guard room at him, "Oi, pug face, here now." Bill Skilling, he said the training staff would call them lizards and fucking cretins.
Yeah.
Cretin, that's a good one, isn't it? When I was in phase 1, lizard was a woman. So all the women were called lizards.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to go near the lizards. Because you weren't allowed to fraternise, was you?
Yeah.
There was like army law or something. You're not allowed to fraternise.
Yeah. Yeah, lizard, woman or that other, like...
what was a woman called?
Split arse.
Split arse. But there was when I was in phase 1, there was all the women, because there was a company with about 4 platoons.
Yeah.
One of the platoons had all the women were in one platoon, and they was all in the same section. And the section commander was this big butch logistics woman. She used to call them her fembots. She used to go, come
fembot.
Here, come here, fembot.
Yeah, we had that fembot.
And she used to be the way she used to talk about him was very sexual.
Yeah,
like, as if like nowadays
predatory.
Yeah. And like if that was a bloke, nowadays probably in prison for that.
Yeah.
But she was a woman, so that's all right.
Well, I was just thinking, like, nicknames for other regiments or units.
Devon and Donuts.
Donkey Wallopers.
Any cavalry regiments are Donkey Wallopers, especially the household cavalry. They are the ultimate Donkey Wallopers.
We refer to any commando as a cabbage head. And the easiest way to confuse a Royal Marine commando is to start queuing at an open door, and they'll just start instantly, naturally queuing behind you.
Right.
Yeah. Strange.
What else do we have? The Scots DGs were Scots dogs.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned a few of them. Yeah, that just come into my head.
Wedges.
Wedges.
Or End Your Queers.
End your queers.
Last one I got is from Dog.
Yeah.
The best insult was when he went to the careers office as a young lad with an earring. He said the jock behind the counter asked him to check for any ships on the road, which he did, and said, no, there's none there. And the jock said, you better fuck off then, because only puffs and pirates wear earrings. And we don't let puffs join Her Majesty's Armed Forces.
Fucking hell. And that's before he even got in.
Yeah, that must have been pre-2000 when they legalised it.
Yeah.
And he said, remember, boys, it's only gay if you push back.
Exactly. That is true, though, isn't it? All right, should we do this? Well, in the interview we done with Feggy, the legend that guided the Royal Tank Regiment to victory. Right, so we're here with Feggy. We've had a great day, haven't we, Steve?
We have. We've been at the Watford v RTR Veterans.
Yeah, we had the Veterans football earlier on where I refereed. And then we moved over to Vicarage Road to watch Watford v... I was the referee, yeah. He didn't even know I was the referee, Steve.
You fucking robbed us.
Robbed you? You fucking won!
We should have had more goals.
So we're here with Feggy, the RTR Veterans team manager, and he's going to tell us about the day and where he's become a tactical genius.
Well, it was really hard, actually, because they all went on the fucking piss last night, didn't they, in London? Adi was supposed to keep control of them, but went on the piss with them as well.
He wanted to fight someone in the first half.
No, that wasn't Adi.
It was.
No, that was...
He was. He come off and he was looking for someone.
No, it's Princess.
No, Princess was trying to fight. And then Adi come off and was looking for someone as well.
But
you're the manager.
I know, but, I'm trying to control
You can't blame your men. You're the manager. You was the WO2, weren't you? Tank commander.
Whoa.
So what was the... Let's get this right. What was the score, Feggy?
The score was 3-1. And it was a tactical managerial genius.
Yeah, it was like Monty, wasn't it? All over
unfortunately,
again.
it could have been 4-1, but Birthday Boy thought it was a crossbar challenge.
Yeah, he is 53.
And missed a penalty.
It's only a Paul Ince.
Hello, Paul Ince.
Sorry to interrupt that. Paul Ince has just walked in.
He's just walked in, has he?
No, honestly, guys, it was an absolutely fantastic day today. It was guys what have come across from north of England as far as Liverpool, Manchester, Dover, Cornwall, Devon, all paid out their own pocket, come up to Watford, pay for their train fares, everything. They've paid for their own kits, for Christ's sake, paid for their own training tops. And fuck me, it was a fucking great day. 3-1. There were a few fucking unfit guys on the pitch. Yeah, we all know. But the RTR were triumph, as they always are.
And I think it's due to their tank commander, WO2 manager.
I've got a fucking... I wasn't going to say that. That door ain't big enough to get my head out of.
Cheers, Feggy.
But guys, listen to your fucking broadcast all the time. Absolutely fucking brilliant. And today wouldn't be the day without all of these boys sat over there. Honestly, it's not one person, it's fucking absolutely everyone. Even with their kids, their wives and their families all turned up.
Who's brought their wife along?
There's a couple of gay guys.
All right, sound.
But we don't mind that anymore.
But honestly, it's guys what are paid out of their own fucking pocket to come here.
Watford have been great, isn't it? We're in this lounge. It's like a veterans lounge. It's brilliant.
Oh, look at that wall. Look.
Yeah, I've got some pictures. I'll put the pictures up.
Lest we forget on that wall. Please put some pictures up.
Yeah, I will do.
You've got the Poppy poem up on the wall. It's absolutely fantastic. Luther Blissett and his wife have paid tribute to the military today. When we come in, food. There was salmon sandwiches, prawn sandwiches, prawn cocktails, proper posh stuff. They've probably gone out on a whim to look after the boys today, and hats off to them. All right, and all the boys have absolutely loved the day. And we should have more of these days.
Yeah, definitely, we will.
And if more regiments want to do it,
they want some, we'll give it them.
Come and talk to Chrissy Bryant.
Yeah.
He will point them in the right direction. In Sunderland, there's a veterans competition next weekend. A long way for us to go to. I'm not sure if we get a team. Blackburn Rovers are massive supporters of the Veterans Football Club.
There's other regiments that we can do this with. So.
The biggest people are supporters of Millwall.
We don't like talking about it.
I know, but they do so much for the Veteran Society.
They're really good.
It's ridiculous. How cheap they give their season tickets out to Forces veterans and their kids.
Yeah. Some of the worst ones are the Arsenal, don't they?
Whoa, fuck off. I'm a goonie, you cunt. Can I say that?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
No, you can't say gooner.
No, but honestly, as much as I am an Arsenal man, I like to travel and watch football. Football's my hobby. I've taken my daughter to loads of games. I've taken her to Tottenham, I've taken her to Arsenal, I've taken her to West Ham, Chelsea. How fucking bizarre she chose Millwall. But when I actually sit back and reflect, I can see why she chose Millwall, because the atmosphere and how friendly the people are.
It's a community as well.
It's a community football club. And when you actually look into it and go, oh, fucking hell, my daughter wants to go to Millwall every week. I went on the webpage, looked at how much it'll cost. £100 for Forces veterans for my daughter and £200 for me. That's £300 for football in a community with an atmosphere.
Yeah, no, brilliant.
You can't knock it. Football is about family. Family is about football. You need to involve families in football. If you don't involve families in football, football's going to fucking die. It's going to die. I am through and through Arsenal fan. I can't afford to go to Arsenal. I really can't afford. It's a socialite in London who can afford to go to London. Unfortunately, an old soldier. I'm a plasterer now. I've got two kids.
You're a plastered plasterer.
A plasterer, yeah. I've got 2 kids. I've got a mortgage. Priorities take place, unfortunately. So, Millwall, for me and my daughter, are a great option. Hold on.
DVP in the house! Rap.
Thank you very much.
I'll carry on.
You take care of that nigga?
Hi.
Yeah. Right, I'm off.
Hi.
Take care, my friend.
Get the fuck you English bastards.
You're ready. My dad used to take me to Highbury to go and watch Arsenal. It was fucking brilliant. The atmosphere was fantastic.
When was that? 1941?
Can I punch him? Thank you. I come from Dover. Dover Athletic. I've been to watch them a few times. They're non-league. They charge £17 a game to watch non-league football. It's horrendous. But when you go to these places what support people in the local community, Crystal Palace, you can get a game at Crystal Palace for £45.
Yeah.
You can go to Millwall and get a ticket. £24 my last Millwall ticket. That's Championship football and Premiership football. Why should I be paying £17 for a greedy football club where I come from?
Peggy, what's the future for Peggy, the manager?
Peggy?
Peggy. Who's Peggy?
Get out of my fucking pub.
Yeah, that's it. What's the future for Peggy in the football?
We're going to move ahead. We are going to move ahead. Yeah. The problem is, with veterans football is, our regiment is drawn from the southeast, southwest and home counties. So you're asking a guide to drive up from Cornwall or Devon,
When they're all in car.
yeah, in their own car or a train, yeah, or from Dover, where I come from today. We got guys here who have come from Liverpool, Birmingham, and across the Midlands, all to come. It's out of their own pockets.
Yeah.
It's for the love of meeting their mates. Yeah, it's comradeship.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like our next tournament is in Sunderland. In this climate, a lot of us can't go up to Sunderland. It's a massive
It's amazing what
ask.
people don't do. Like, yourself.
Oh God!
And I'm not just saying this, but I was a spectator with my flag. But you was amazing, though. You was cheering everyone. You was professional. And
That's me.
Look at the end result.
I support the guys. My whole time I've been in the army, I support people. I don't knock them. I support them, and that's the background of soldiering.
Right, so the mic went dead then. So you asked, what did you ask Feggy? The question you
I
asked him.
He's got a finger missing, and I said to him, "So how did you lose your finger?" And
This is his answer.
Yeah.
Why? The real answer or the not real answer?
Whatever you want to answer.
I had a fetish and I used to put it on my arse, and I had an infection and it fell off.
On that note, thank you very much.
Thanks, Peggy. Nice one.
So that was the interview with Feggy. What do you reckon to that, Steve? Obviously, you were there at the time, but
Brilliant.
he's pissed, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can't believe he didn't realise I was the referee, and then he thought I'd done him over when they'd won.
He's such a lovely bloke. I remember when I left, he might be a sergeant or a staff sergeant, and he's just one of the lads, one of the good ones, if you like.
Yeah, but yeah, he was pissed up, but he had the balls to come on and speak.
He didn't want to, but after a few
that's the
beers.
thing. Like, as I said earlier on, right, all these people, they're like, oh yeah, really confident. You put a microphone in front of them, they're not interested. Oh, we should have spoke to Davey P because he interrupted there, didn't he?
Yeah.
The old
Racist, wasn't it? What he said, the English bastard.
Yeah. But yeah, so Feggy,
Nice one.
he's going from victory to victory.
Yeah. Well done.
And hopefully, if he's listening to this, like, because he was very concerned about me, he was going, Stu, don't make me look like an arsehole and all this. And I was like, Feggy, mate, why would I do that? So hopefully I haven't done. Hopefully it's all right. Right, moving on to the section of the show called Muckers Remembered. And this week, Steve has got a very personal one that he'd like to remember.
Yeah, I'd like to remember my granddad. He was 211-86047, Lance Corporal Thomas Black, but everyone knew him as Norman for some reason. He was from Gateshead in the northeast, and like most people, when he left school, he went down the pit as a coal miner. Then he got called up to do his national service in the Royal Signals. Once that was finished, he went back down the pit, and when I was a kid, he was about to retire when I started school, so he used to pick me up from school every day and take me over the woods where we lived, and he used to let my imagination run wild. And he was a proper granddad, proper drinker, a right lad, but a loving granddad. And he died on the 9th of April 1991, and he was only 66 years old. He was like my hero when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think granddads were, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because I remember I shared that my granddad come to my basic training pass-off parade. He had his medals on and he was a scouser and he was everyone was coming up to him and talking to him. And he died when I was on my carder and I was in bits. Like, it was horrible.
This granddad, Granddad Black I knew him as, he was a security guard at a factory near where we lived. My dad and my other granddad worked there as well.
Yeah.
And apparently he used to turn a blind eye to things going in and out of this factory for a box of tea bags.
you got to have your priorities.
Yeah,
right,
well, that factory shut after.
Because this was the thing as well. Like I remember times when my mum would be telling me off and that, and my granddad would tell my mum off.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
He used to pick me up from school every day.
Yeah.
He always had like half a packet of tree ball mint. That was his little thing. But, yeah.
Better than Werther's then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. The Bravo Zulu shout out this week is to Healthier Heroes CIC. I believe they're based up in the northwest area. And do you know what? So one of the guys, I think he'd left THH when I got there. I know he had some interaction with Healthier Heroes, and it looked like, I mean, he was really positive with them. And it seems like they got a really good setup. So, I mean, they offer they've got a certain amount of accommodation, obviously mental health, education on their website says here, social inclusion, wow, counselling. And now this is the thing which stood out for me, is you go on their website and they've got several sort of qualified therapists. And I think that's quite an incredible thing, especially for a smaller organisation, to have that access to sort of qualified therapists. I think is quite incredible.
I have seen a lot of people, a lot of businesses advertising 24-hour helplines.
Yeah.
It does worry me that they might be trained to a certain extent, but depending on how serious the situation is, they might not know how to handle it, and it does worry me. That so them having.
I mean, I don't think they have a 24-hour helpline.
Which is I'm saying that's good, because you don't know how to stretch yourself.
Yeah.
I'm saying I've seen some that do, quite a lot of them do, and
because the things I saw, the guy I knew that sort of was supported by them, they done a lot of sports stuff, which sort of drew me into them, looking at what they do, and then go on their website and seeing what they do. I think is really good. And so I think the guy that set it up, his name's Andy Powell. I will check that.
I take it they're veterans themselves.
Yeah. Andy's a veteran, and it looks like the majority of the team are with the therapists. I think some of the majority of them aren't. But also what I did see is there are veterans that are training to become therapists, which I've said before there needs to be more of in this country. And interestingly, through my work at CGL, I got put in contact with Andy, and I've reached out to him because I want to speak to him, get him on the Muster Point Beyond the Wire podcast. So if you're listening, Andy, or anyone at Healthier Heroes, give us a shout. We want to get you on because it looks like you're doing some really good stuff, and we want to promote that.
Since doing this as well, I've noticed that there's a common thing here that veterans just want to help each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because we're sick of people asking for help and getting
this
nowhere.
Is the thing. Like, do you know you mentioned earlier on how some people say you got to look after yourself? No, you got to look after each other.
Yeah, buddy system.
Exactly. And Darren from Veterans into Logistics, like the conversations I was having with him, and we spoke about on that episode of Beyond the Wire, was like in the forces, it was all about teamwork, all about working together. Okay, having that banter as we've spoke about today, but working together to get the job done. And it seems like, especially with some of the big charities, that collaboration, we've lost that teamwork. Yeah. So for me, like, fucking hell, I've had my time in the gutter, fucking in shit state, and now I've come out. For me, it's all about giving back in whatever way I can.
And I think most people are the same.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So yeah, Healthier Heroes.
But, like the sports thing and that. I'm not into sports, but I'm not even into watching sports. But I'm there. I like having a laugh with my mates, And I know we went out and had a beer after at Watford, but even without,
I didn't.
Even if
you was concerned about me, weren't you?
No, but even if you've had problems and you don't want to be around that, the sport part was separate. We had the sport, and I'm pretty sure if we'd have left after 90 minutes or 80 minutes as it was, we'd have left on a high. And what is not sad, but what you don't want is to have that only once a year. If you need that support, there is support. You've got the breakfast clubs. You've got these football clubs that are popping up. There is a lot of groups. Yeah. Unless you live in the Outer Hebrides or something.
At the Outer what? Say that again.
Outer Hebrides. It's not hard this day and age. If you're listening to this, then you know how to use a computer or you know how to Google things.
Or like George, get your kids to sort it out.
Yeah, exactly. You. Yeah. There is plenty of, I say support. There is plenty of support, but there's plenty of groups to social support, if you like. So,
Yeah.
We'll just ask.
Just ask. Just ask us.
Yeah, we'll Google it for you.
And do you know what's interesting? And I don't know if you're aware of this. I'm pretty sure you are. The infamous Chizard has now got the Muster Point
Yes.
email address. So it's Chizard, double Z. So that's CHIZZARD at themusterpoint.org.uk. So if you're listening to this and missing Chizard, send him an email, whether it's a request for a date or advice on hand lotion or just to give him some shit for being in the RAF Reg.
Pictures of dog shit, anything.
Pictures of dog shit.
That's what I'll be sending.
So yeah, he's got his own email address now, so you can ask him where he is and what he's been doing.
If you care.
If you care.
I don't.
No? Okay. You don't really like him, do you?
I don't. He's all right.
But yeah, so...
He made me a cup of tea at work the other day.
No way. He's your boss though, isn't he?
He's not my boss. He's one of the bosses. He couldn't handle me. He was my boss for a bit, and we got rid of him. He couldn't handle us. So
I bet.
We moved on.
So yeah, we're coming to the end of another episode, aren't we, Steve?
We are.
No, that was number 12. Did you ever think we'd get this far?
I didn't.
Are you still enjoying it, Steve?
I am.
Do you reckon the listeners are enjoying it?
Some are.
Some are, some aren't.
Smithy is, but old Bottle, he loves it.
Yeah. I bet he was gutted the other week when we didn't release one.
Yeah, I think he was, yeah.
Because we're still growing. We're still in our infancy, as it were, in terms of...
We keep getting Asian people messaging us, offering their services.
Yeah.
Telling us that they'll improve our YouTube.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. And I like winding them up.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah, I'll go along with it and then just delete them.
Because that's the thing. We're getting more numbers. We're getting more comments, more messages coming. So hopefully we're doing something right. And let us know. So what are our socials? I've forgotten them. You know them, Steve. They're tattooed on your thigh.
Well, we've got X and Twitter.
Yeah. But that's the same thing. But
yeah.
And what's that? That's at the Muster Point.
Yep. Facebook at the Muster Point.
That's at the Muster Point Veterans.
Yep, that one. TikTok.
Yeah, that's at the Muster Point.
And in YouTube.
At the Muster Point Veterans.
Yeah, or you can text us or WhatsApp us, on 07506 258 794.
That's good.
Or you can email us at steve@themusterpoint.org.uk.
Yeah. Oh, mine's the same, just with Stu.
Yeah.
And then Chizard is Chizard 2 Zs. And leave us some comments on Spotify or whatever you're listening on. Spread the word, share it. Tell us what you think. Even if we're talking a load of bullshit and you're bored, then you wouldn't be listening, would you?
No, but tell us, 'cause then we can up our game a bit.
Yeah. Well, how can we up our game? What, maybe when are you clearing out your garage so we can have a studio?
Soon.
You got to get Madeline McCann out of there, ain't you? Dispose of the body. Oh, God. Sorry about that. Right, so next week's episode, what you come up with? We're going to try, possibly. Or do we want to tell people that? Because then maybe they'll be alert. But then they're not going to know when we're recording. So, yeah. So hopefully next week Steve's going to release the beast and we're going to do our prank episodes. So we want to hear
but we want to hear other people's pranks. I've already had a lot of people sent me stuff in. I think they sent them in for this episode, but I've saved them because they're more pranks than nicknames.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got some funny ones.
So next week, pranks. What else? What else we got? What we got coming up this week? So tomorrow, as we said, Three Counties Radio are in. I can't think.
In a few weeks' time, I'm going to France, the Royal Tank Regiment Association, for 85th anniversary of the Battle of Arras.
So is that another weekend on the piss? Is it?
No, weekdays.
Oh, weekdays.
I'm driving a minibus. So.
Oh yeah, you and the boys were talking about this, weren't you? You've been fucking dicked, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the association fucked us all over. Really speaking, I'm a bit pissed off about it. But the members have sort of took it upon themselves to do it. The regiments let us down.
Okay.
So we're driving minibuses ourselves. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to get some funny stories from the older gentlemen.
Yeah.
But then straight after that, I'm going to a thing in Sussex, all tanked up. It's a tanky camping weekend.
Yeah. Are you camping down there, are you?
I am. Last year I had a fishing bed and a gazebo.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard some stories about that. They were concerned about you, weren't they?
I thought I was dead.
Yeah. You weren't, obviously.
I'm a deep sleeper.
Is your missus going with you?
Nah, she can't handle the cold.
Yeah.
She don't like because there's no showers or nothing. So
Yeah, fair one. What, no shat?
she won't shit in the bush.
Yeah, fair. What is it, proper, like, field discipline, is it?
Yeah, dig a hole, shit in a hole.
Nice.
Yeah, shit in a bit of cling film
Well,
and use it as a hand warmer.
surely you tankies weren't used to that field admin stuff. Like,
You know what? I'll never forget. I remember shitting off the side of a tank, just holding on to it, and just having a dump off the side of a tank. As a driver, I used to just piss in a water bowl
yeah.
and just pour it out the hatch. Yeah.
The cupola.
No,
Okay.
the commander had a cupola.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I got all tanked up where I've spoke to Dave Roberts, the hairy veteran,
Oh, yeah.
H3 Dave.
Oh, yeah, you're going to do a quiz.
Yeah, I've got
Tanky off or whatever
big
it is.
tank off.
Yeah.
I've got Mike and Dave, the hairy veterans.
Yeah.
Their Facebook page is quite interesting if anyone's into history and a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And they're bikers as well, dirty bikers. Yeah, so I've got some questions for them. See who's the best tanky.
Nice.
So that'd be fun. So it's coming up in the next few weeks.
Happy days. So what have I got on? Can't think. Still planning for this VE Day event.
Yeah, we've got VD Day.
VD Day. Yeah, so that's it, I think, innit?
Yeah.
What's the time?
9:20.
Oh, we've not done too bad today, have we?
I've been up since 4:30 this morning.
Yeah. You're off tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
Well, not in the morning. You're at the Mustard Point breakfast, cooking bacon sandwiches.
And we Green Goddess.
And your green goddess. Nice. Right. Right then, that's us done dishing out the abuse verbally, of course. Though if you've been in the forces, you've probably got PTSD from Parade Square poetry.
Yeah. Whether it is being called a walking admin nightmare, a waste of rations, or the reason contraception was invented, we salute every one of you who survived the savage art of military banter.
If you've got a belter of an insult, one you dished out or took like a champ, send it in. Bonus points if it came from a full screw with a nicotine addiction and no soul.
Voice notes, DMs, comments, chalk it on the wall of the naffy if you like. Just get it to us. We're on Facebook at the Mustard Point Veterans, X at the Mustard Point, TikTok at the Mustard Point, and YouTube at the Mustard Point Veterans.
And if you're a veteran or working to support one, whether you're running a charity, helping lads transition, or just keeping someone ticking, drop us a line. We'll give you a proper Bravo Zulu shout out.
Subscribe, give us a rating, and share this episode with your mucker who once got called a danger to yourself and others, especially in the kitchen.
Next week, we'll be back with more tales from the trenches, emotional, ridiculous, and everything in between. Until then, parade, fall out.
Later, you beautiful bunch of banter gremlins.
Ah.